GM, everybody. Welcome to Money Monday. You're back in the barn, though. Oh, awesome. What a weekend. What a week. How is everybody? Great to see you all. We start out today with a little Frank Sinatra. Gonna go wrong with Frank. And seem to have misplaced my Apple Pencil. Right on. Okay, let's get into it. GM, GM, GM. Quote of the day. Here we go. Whoever ceases to be a student has never been a student. George Illis. Whoever ceases to be a student has never been a student. Isn't that interesting? Well, good job in being a coachable student. It's a major key. Major key. I'm excited to tell you about this weekend, but let's go right through this real quick too. What do we got here? Awesome. All right. Number one, Alfredo. I think this needs to be updated. Bobby T, number two. John Chavis, number three. Marion Stetson, number four. Mitch and Maley, number five. Right on. Michelle Torres, wonderful, number six. Kendall Stock, number seven. Coulter Hanson, number eight. Christine Diamond, number nine. And Jason Andrus, number 10. I want to hear all about your weekend experience with Jason, for those of you who went or caught the broadcast. I was in a completely different part of the country. I had a schedule overlap, and yeah, I had this thing scheduled almost a year ago, so I wasn't able to spend last Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday with you guys. So yeah, tell me how it went. Let me get this hooked up over here. Oh man, I drove too. Everyone else flew, but I drove, so I got in. But I love the freedom of the drive, meeting people on the road. Okay, so it's working. Here's what I wanted to make sure we had pulled up. Calendar. There we go. Okay, so this Thursday we got the iOS training with Jenna Hoover. Now remember that every tool that you have in front of you is leverage, and a lot of people are not using the software. Plenty are, which is great, but many more could be, and maybe you just don't know what it is, what it could do for you. So definitely show up to the iOS training. That is 2 p.m. Mountain Time this Thursday. Get your new students onto that as well. Got the Founders Live today at 5 Central for Mountain. Richard Stock is doing his Super Saturday this Saturday. And then we also got two property tours, one in Salt Lake, one in Texas, Austin area. So thank you to Mr. Ryan Dodge. That guy's a tried and true market real estate investor, 200 plus deals. So if you ever get a chance to spend time or go to Ryan Dodge's events out in Texas, that guy is very productive, living life by design. Okay, perfect. So there's that. One of the quote of the day. So we are working behind the scenes on some exceptional sales methods. I like to think that the people who had an incredible quarter by following what we do next year are going to have the same results, but in a month. And the people who had fantastic months could do that same thing in a week following this new process that we're creating. We're going to be using all the sales tactics and the robots and the AI and 24/7 tech, all while being able to give the customer exactly what they want. Because I don't know if you noticed this, but we all use Renatus differently depending on where we're at, how long we've been in. And I like to think about Renatus is like a multi-dimensional constellation, or like a 20-sided die, where if someone doesn't have a retirement account, the retirement account class doesn't make that much sense to them. If they don't have a mortgage, velocity banking doesn't make that much sense to them. Right? So we got to meet the people where they're at. And we have figured out a way to do it and speed up the entire process. So I'm really looking forward to this next E3. We're going to pack the house. We're going to run out of seats. And along the way, we're going to make a lot of money. And then at the conference, we're going to make even more. So if you didn't get what you wanted in the last, 45 days since the last E3, I know a lot of people did, but even more didn't. Now, is that Renatus' fault? Is that the corporate headquarters' fault? Could be, but it's a lot easier to take personal responsibility and make a change uh, instead of pointing fingers or going on strike or making demands. It's just put in the work. Speaking of work, here we go. Self-confidence formula. Excellent. All right, first, I know I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action towards its attainment, and I here and now promise to render such action. Second, I understand that the dominating thoughts of my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical action and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Therefore, I will concentrate my thoughts for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become, thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of that person. You got to get clear. Who are you becoming? Who are you being and becoming? Third, I know through the principle of autosuggestion, any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object or position I desire. Therefore, I will devote 10 minutes daily to demanding of myself the development of self-confidence. Fourth, I have clearly written down a description of my definite chief aim, and I will always work until I develop sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. Fifth, I fully realize that wealth or position can long endure when built upon truth and justice. I will engage only in transactions that benefit all whom it affects. I will succeed by attracting to myself the forces I wish to use and the cooperation of other people. I will induce others to serve me because of my willingness to serve them. I have eliminated hatred, envy, jealousy, selfishness, and cynicism, and have developed a love for all of humanity. For I know that a positive attitude towards others will always bring me success. I will cause others to believe in me because I believe in them and in myself. I will sign my name to this formula, commit it to memory, and repeat it aloud once a day with full faith that it will gradually influence my thoughts and actions, so I will become a self-reliant and successful person. GM to that. GM, GM, GM. Growth mindset. Giving more. Growing muscles. Getting money. So many things. GM. Okay, so real quick, does anyone want to tell us their experience about the education filming last 2 days with Jason Andrus? Who attended in person? Who went online? I want to hear all about it. I wish I could have been there. I'm sure it was fantastic. Jason's such a powerhouse. How many of you, did anyone bring a guest that signed up at the event? Let us know. Okay, Doug went online. Leilani was there in person, said it was fantastic. Great. Yeah. And that's the thing about finding mentors and being able to absorb, 2 decades of someone's experience and work inside of 2 days. What a gift, what a blessing. And that kind of goes back to the quote of the day, right? Those who stop being a student, whoever ceases to be a student has never been a student. Man, there's a lot packed into that. Like when we were going through some of the training, we talked about the difference between I'm getting it and I got it. Big difference there. All right. Gosha said online. Okay, what did you get out of it? What was the thing you're gonna do or change? The aha moment you got. And we're gonna go do some whiteboard work here. So let's get this thing into the room.
Michael, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't have my speakers on. All right, go ahead.
Hey,
Thank you.
it's Mahaya. How are you?
Great. GM to you.
I went to Jason's class last week and it was fantastic. Um, I went to his due diligence class and the way that he presents and the way he teaches, he's very engaging and he's funny. He's super funny. But I've been doing like flips. I'm like on my 12th project right now. And even after doing, kind of digging into flips and everything, I still learned so much that I didn't know. And so I was able to get his spreadsheets and the slides and everything that he gave us on the QR code, and I'm going to use them. I'm going to print them up and I'm going to take my clipboard. He said, take a clipboard with you, take your spreadsheets with you. And I've never done that. I've never taken a clipboard with me. I just take my phone and take pictures and, and then I take it home and hash it all out. But having the spreadsheets now will give me more of because I find myself getting home and I'm like, oh crap, I didn't check this or I didn't check this. And now that I have this checklist that he provided for us and a timeline that I can work with now, I feel like I'll be able to get my flips done even faster and in a more organized fashion because my flips are all chaotic right now. And so it was really nice to be able to listen to his tips and get all these golden nuggets for the flips that I think 2026 is going to be a lot more organized for me.
Excellent. That's great to hear. Great feedback, and that you got something tangible out of it. And yeah, well said. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, absolutely. I also wanted to tell you that this weekend, while at Jason's thing, I got 5 star. I put in an order and I am now 5 star once everything goes through, of course. But
Yeah, right on.
so that was pretty exciting. Me and my sister went to his classes and we made 5 star this weekend. So super excited.
Yeah, excellent. So was that their first did you have to follow up with them for a long time? How'd that come about? That's awesome
No,
to hear. Well,
actually, so me and my sister were working on this lady and she just reached out to her on Facebook and she came to one of the meetings a couple of weeks ago and had her one-on-one with Mitch and signed up same day. So it was pretty awesome. It wasn't something we were expecting, but then she called us and said, "Hey, I'm all in. I'm gonna do the next challenge." And so she's super excited. We had never met her before. She came through Facebook. So Facebook works.
yeah, well done. Yeah, if you stick with it, there's gonna be people that just have been begging for an opportunity, looking for it. They're you know they're ready to go. It does happen, and so thank you for sharing. And I think you should do it again next month, huh?
Yes. Every month. At least one or two, right?
Yeah, I think they say a combo a day keeps the doctor away, or something like that.
I love it. I love it.
Cool. Well, thanks also for sharing encouragement with everybody else. uh, watching you work and the progress you've made in the production that's now in your business is impressive. So well done, and thank you for being a great example.
Thanks.
Yeah. Does anyone else want to share? Well, we head over to the whiteboard here.
Thank you, sweetie.
Hey, Michael. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Gilda, GM.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Well, I had it on, but Thursday was I had an all day continuing education, so I couldn't tune in. So I was only able to tune in during breaks and lunch, lunch breaks. So I was trying, but then and then Sunday was really busy day for work, but I had it on. But for what I was able to capture, it was it was phenomenal. It was awesome, and yeah, and he's really he's exciting. How he teaches. He's full of life. So that's Jason. So yeah, it was
Yeah.
really awesome. I was having some problem towards the end on Friday where I don't know if it was my internet. It was just like keeping um freezing, and yeah, it wasn't, but it was, I don't know why it was doing that, but it could just be my internet, access or signal. But
On a
yeah,
Friday night, you said?
yeah, Friday, yeah, it was doing it pretty much kind of all day because I know Dave had it on his laptop while he was working. He couldn't tune in, and he was like, "Are you having problem?" Because I had it on my, lap. I actually had it on my phone because I was using my laptop for work, and yeah, it was, and I couldn't, and I had it really low because I was focusing on work. So then I was, yeah, it was doing that. It was pretty much all day on
Gotcha.
Friday, but towards the end, it got really worse. So it was like the last couple of hours that it was just hard to get something out. So, but yeah, it was great. But if you're close, definitely in person is really, it's really the key because sometimes with the internet, it just it's
Yeah. So
sometimes
what
we have that challenge.
what was something tangible you got from the class? I know you couldn't attend the whole time. I get it, but what was the thing that you took?
One of the things that I really wanted to get, he was, when he was giving out the companies that he was getting his, um, where he get his proof of funds, and he was giving that, and then there was like that list the that I'm not sure who that was that came out, but
Hey, Alani.
Elan, okay. So, he mentioned that he was giving that list, and I really wanted to get that list, and I couldn't because I didn't even see the QR code. That must have been the time that it froze or some. So I couldn't. But then he mentioned that it's gonna be at the documents. But then I know that's probably gonna be a while. But yeah. So that was yeah, that was one of the things, and also one of the things that really got to me was is how how he's doing so many of it, and even if he's doing a lot of it like at a time, and he's still it's you still have to be careful of what you're going to do, and you still have to do that list. But I think that list is really a key where you're not going to be able to miss what what you're gonna be able to miss, because if you don't get it, I mean, like if you don't put a check mark on it, and or if you don't have a list, and then you might miss that, and then that's gonna cause you to lose money.
Right. You follow your system every time follow your system. That's literally why it's called a system, right? Because
Right.
it doesn't change each time. And
Yes.
and us being emotional creatures, we could change based off what we had for breakfast or a conversation we had half an hour ago. And so always refer back to the system, and especially for major decisions, taking an extra step back to breathe, think about it, and not be reactionary to the stimulus, right?
Yeah.
So, hey, look at that. Deborah just hooked you
Mhm.
up with the QR code.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would be great. You could
See, Deborah,
text it to me. That would
always
be awesome.
looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not want to ask it in here because there could be somebody in here that does not have the AIT and um
And look how compliant you are too, Gilda.
yeah.
Love
So
it.
yeah. So that was really awesome. And I'm not a fix and flip. I mean, I don't fix and flip, but I learned the class, and also because you never know when you're gonna need it. And I always have that one. Every time I buy a property, I always use that fix and flip is always one of my, exit strategies to analyze my deal. So,
Right. Part of the system.
mm-hmm.
So sometimes people you're making the system in your head, which is fine. But then if you're not a good like head math person or you're not good at making maps, then you always need to just write it down like a little logic tree, the if thens. Just a little bubble chart. If this shows up, then I say no. If this, then yes. And being able to take your emotion out of it can really speed up how many deals you can do.
Yes,
It's
absolutely. Oh,
yeah.
sorry. Yeah,
Go
that's
ahead.
really what he was, saying that do not buy the property based on emotion because that's when we kind of get in the sticky spot. So, you
Yeah,
know,
unless you want to see what that roller coaster of an experience is, it's
right,
not worth
right,
it. It's not worth
right.
it.
Yeah, he definitely got to his gut feeling. That's what he's
Yeah.
go to your gut feeling,
I have a
supported, of
gut
course, with
feeling.
numbers, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I get this gut feeling to not pay my taxes.
Yeah. Right, right. But we do it anyway,
But
right?
we got to do it anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Calculated though, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. All right. Well,
But if we
thank you so
always
much.
followed our gut, I guess what I'm saying is we could get in some big trouble. So yeah,
Right.
follow the system.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Okay. And GM to a bunch of you that just showed up. We were just recapping the education week. A couple people got some sales, putting some deals structure together, and lowering our risk and increasing our chance for a profit. So GM to that. Let's get into this. I'm gonna use a different stylus. I don't know where my Apple Pencil went, so we're gonna use this instead.
Before you move on, I had just a comment, one that
Yeah, go ahead.
I've done, I don't know, a dozen small wholesale. Uh, but one of the techniques that I've not used, but I've always thought about, and he reminded me of, is put one of your signs. I used to do signs on telephone poles, but put one of your signs in the yard of a vacant property. And it maybe even put a sign in there that says for sale and with your number on it. And then they get pissed off and they call you. You say, "Yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of you. You want to sell that thing? What are you going to do with that thing?" So,
Nice.
um, yeah,
That's
so
cool.
that's a good one. I picked up and remembered that one this time. So that's all I got.
What if you you put your little for sale sign, but then you put a question mark at the end? Right.
Yeah,
So when they say, I was just asking, is this for sale?
yeah, yeah. You could do that. Yeah.
Oh
That's a
man, those
good
sound like
one. That's a
yeah,
good one, Michael.
right. Just trying to maintain a little more integrity with the logic behind that, right? If it's a question mark, then it's just, hey, that's my business card. I'm not trying to claim the property at all. Awesome. Well, congrats to you on your dozen deals, Doug. That's great to hear. Okay. Um, so I got to go to an awesome workshop over the weekend, and I was sworn to secrecy about how it works. So I can't give you all the details behind it, but I can give you some of the stuff that I took from it. Some things I've used in the past. This is the second time going. I went 2 years ago also. and some things that I think could relate to almost everyone here on the call. So yeah, congrats. Okay, cool. So let's jump into this. Do you guys know the temperature of absolute zero? Absolute zero. When things are so cold that every molecule stops moving. Okay, it's in the calculation, but it actually doesn't exist. No one's found it yet. We haven't been able to make a machine that could do it either, but it's a thing. It is negative 460 degrees Fahrenheit or negative 273 Celsius. Okay. Super all the way cold. The coldest of colds. Absolute zero. Okay. Now, that's important because all of us have in our life, and it depends on how long you've been working on it. We all got an ice cube. Got an ice cube that has frozen in something in what we want. Just going to put a star to represent the thing, the goal. Okay. Now, depending on your awareness of this ice cube, first of all, will determine how fast you can melt this. Now, once you become aware that there is this ice cube, this block that is holding the thing that you want, and maybe you've neglected it for a long time, so this ice cube is enormous. And you come to a class, you come to a seminar, you go to a workshop, you make a connection into a network, and you start to work on this ice cube. And you get yourself a flamethrower, right? And you are just blasting this thing, blasting it. Okay. And you have such a huge output of energy. And you get from negative 460, and with your flamethrower, you're now at negative 100. But you have spent so much energy that you're like, wow, still an ice cube? I just blasted this thing with a flame for who knows how long, weeks, months, years, and the ice cube is still here. My technique must not be working. That energy must not be making an effect, so I'm going to quit. Because still at negative 100, the hydrogen and the oxygen is still a solid. It's still ice. And so if you get psyched out because you decided to go with your emotion instead of your plan and your system, the system was to melt the ice cube, you looked up too soon and you saw all this energy and it's still an ice cube. Now, what is this ice cube? Quite often, what it is it's a story, a fancy story, a really intricate, personal, yet made up story. It could be all kinds of stuff. You know, someone did something to me, or I didn't get enough of something, or I got too much of something. And we make up this fantastic story. You know that we are all meaning makers, and that the meaning making, if never learned how to drive your meaning making machine up here, you could have the most ridiculous of stories. But because we made it up, we start to defend it. And if you keep defending that story, you're going to just keep adding more and more layers to the ice cube. So be careful about the story. Be careful. You got to be I want you to bring doubt to every element of your story because it's not um, it's only true to you. It's not absolute truth. It's not it's your story. It's a conjuring in your mind. So then you got to be careful because as you're blasting the flames, you might then make up the story that this isn't working, right? And maybe I need to stop because you want to use your eyeballs and go, oh no, it's still ice. And depending on how long you've neglected this problem, this ice cube, this force field you've been creating, depends on how long it's going to take to work on it. And what's crazy too is then now you got some friends that are looking at you going, what are you doing with this flamethrower? You've been out here so long, nothing's working. Do you need to take some medication? Do you need to go see a doctor? Like, what are you doing out here? Pay no mind to them. They don't understand the ice that you are melting. In fact, when they do that, they are making they're reinforcing their own ice cubes. So instead of playing into that, add some more heat to it, add some more flames to it, keep going. More energy comes out. And now you're at, since we're going to play in the Fahrenheit game, now we're at 31 degrees Fahrenheit. It's still ice. It is still ice. You've made such progress from negative 460 to negative 100 to positive 31. It is still ice. And I mean, that's just how the physics of it work, right? It's still going to be ice at 31. You are still blasting it with a flame. Keep going, keep going, keep going. And eventually, one more degree plus one more degree makes all the difference.
It'll still be ice.
Well, it depends if you are using fresh water and you are at sea level.
No, it's ice at 32. You need it to go to 33 or 32.1 or whatever. It'll still be ice at 32.
I love you, Earl. 1.1.
Oh man.
See, logic, follow the system. Well done, Earl. I appreciate you. Yes, Zen, I see your hand is up. GM to you. Good morning.
Good morning, Michael. I'm a little emotional right now because I just want to say thank you because every Monday morning you change my life. And I literally just experienced what you're describing this morning. And you just put it into perspective for me because I have been blasting this ice cube for a very, very long time. And I'm seeing movement and you are describing the movement that I'm seeing. So thank you so much. This was exactly what I needed to hear this morning.
Woo! You gave me goosebumps. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, this is this is the life work, you know. This is the important work that we're doing here. The money is a representation. The things that we get with the money are still representation, but it's the manifestation of our desires that is the real work. And, you know, sometimes it has to become money first to do the next thing. And sometimes this ice cube is your beliefs around money more than something else that's blocking you. Is just that you think, well, I want to do good in the world, but I don't want a lot of money. Well, then you just turned your flamethrower off, right? You gotta keep at it. So yeah, that was a huge thing for me too, because I have some huge goals, and I know you do too. And it's like watching people like Dane, you know, make millions and millions of dollars a year working 2 hours a week kind of thing. It's like, yeah, that dude really blasted through his ice cube. So one of the things I want you to get from that is don't let the presence of the ice itself deter you, because there is a certain time where it just melts, and it's 1.1 0.1 degrees after 32, or if we're doing Celsius, it's right after 0. So yeah, it's been super helpful for me, and I want to make sure I shared that with you, especially the new people, right? Because you'll hear someone that just did a deal in 90 days and you've been in for 120 days, and you go, "Oh no, what's wrong?" It's just your ice cube is maybe way bigger than that other person. You don't know what they did prior to enrolling in our program, how long they've been working on theirs. I had completely neglected mine. In fact, I didn't even know that there was an ice cube when I joined this program. That's how big of a mess I was in. And I remember enrolling a guy named John O'Neill, and I'd been in the program for about 2.5 years, and I had just crossed the $100,000 mark, and he made 100,000 in like 8 months, and I was like, what? What did I do wrong? How did? And then as I got to know his story, I realized he's been working for a decade on his ice cube before he even showed up. And so it was really helpful for me to stay out of comparison, right? Knowing that we're all working on our own ice cube of various sizes, no need to compare. And that realizing comparison is the thief of joy. I've taught Benjamin and Remington that, we never look up to or down on anybody, because both of those things create comparisons, and both of those are going to steal your joy, not just from you, but the people around you. So never look up to or look down on anyone. And that is part of the flame, by the way. If you wanted to increase your flame's BTU capacity, should add in some non-comparison protocols into your life, and you will melt that thing so much faster.
Michael, can I say a comment?
Yeah. Good morning.
I did. I beat myself up for many years comparing myself to a lot of you guys that were there, from Dane to Mitch to all you guys, because I feel like I was maybe a year to months before those guys all had came in. But then I look at myself. I had children. I've had 7 major surgeries, 8 car accidents. 9 now car accidents. That kept just putting me back. You know my story. Put me back. And I'm looking at myself like, gosh, like these guys are doing it and killing it. Like, well, Mitch back then, he was single, young, just barely starting. You were single, young, just starting. You guys could put your full time in. So everybody has different times where that fire's end up going to going out, or that ice is going to end up being melted, right?
Yep. Yep.
And
Exactly.
and I'm still pushing. Not to say, but I was just on Thanksgiving. I was in a major car accident
Oh my
and
goodness.
totaled my car. But anyways, I still have to keep going. I still keep pushing because it's like, okay, that ice is kind of forming again. But then I still got it. What can I continue to do to melt it?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. It's exactly that. You're on that scale where maybe the ice is still the exact same size, but you've been blasting through each of these temperature zones, and it is making a difference. And don't use just your eyeballs to psych yourself out, because
Or don't
the
beat yourself up on comparing. You cannot compare what
yeah,
somebody else is doing. Like you compared yourself to John. The only thing is like with Tiger Woods. What did they tell him? Tweak it. Just he barely he just barely tweaked it a half an inch and then started making it. So we got to tweak different things in our life to make things work for us.
yep, yep, absolutely, absolutely. And um and we appreciate Michelle, because I know that you do a lot of volunteering as well, that you don't have to, and the technical knowledge that you bring to the time when you're volunteering has made a big difference for a lot of people. I don't know if all that feedback has gotten to you, but yeah, you make a difference for a lot of people, and just want to make sure you know that.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate you for being
Absolutely.
here every day for us. Because if you weren't here, then we wouldn't have this.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love being able to make a difference for you guys, share my story, my journey along the way, the struggles, the triumphs, and then when I get to see you guys in person, get to look in your eyes, give you hugs, it fuels me now. It fuels me more than the money. The money was the thing at first, right? I came for the money and I stayed for the people. So appreciate you. More than that, Michelle, I love you. So can't wait to see you in February. Okay, on this story thing, real quick, I wanted to add one more element to it, and that is that when we are making up a meaning, and um and let's say in this instance, and I'm not saying everyone does this, but in this instance, you're gonna say this person did something to me. They did to me something. Okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. They looked at me funny. They said this thing behind my back. They stole, my business idea, whatever. The thing. They stole, they mocked, they bullied, whatever. They did a thing to me. And so then the story kicks in, whatever your story is. And one of the lessons here was that, okay, let's say we're just meeting and we're from the same culture, and as we meet, I put my hand out to say hello. And the person, instead of smiling and putting their hand out, makes a scowl at me and keeps their hand in. Or the story in my head is they're refusing to shake my hand. Okay, that's the story now. Oh no, I've extended myself. Hello. I go to shake and they don't do it. Insert story. What a jerk. What a rude person. They're so rude, or they must think I'm not worthy. And then we make up a story. And then what does that story do? It leads to a feeling. And then what does that feeling lead to? It leads to actions, which then lead to our result. And if we start to make results based off of goofy stories, we're in a world of hurt. We're literally just a random chance at that point. So if we start to reverse engineer, we go back. One thing that I may have not known when I decided to call that person a jerk for not shaking my hand is, and this can happen, they don't have hands. They don't have hands. If someone doesn't have hands, they're not going to shake my hand. But that doesn't make them a jerk. They literally cannot do the thing I'm asking them to do or expecting them to do. They don't have hands. And so by putting on an expectation to someone who literally doesn't have the thing is part of the biggest problem of the story. They don't have the tool, and the tool could be a communication style or skill. They don't have the technical skill. They don't have the relationship skill. They don't have the thing. And by putting an expectation on them that they need to have it to give it to me is just going to make both parties suffer. So we could dive deeper into that on another day, but I just wanted to make sure that inside of that expectation of something inside our stories, that quite often the thing isn't happening because the person is not equipped with the thing we want them to have. And if I knew that, how could I call that person a jerk for not shaking my hand? Once I knew they didn't have a hand, then the whole story unraveled itself. So instead of getting into that and then having those yucky feelings and taking the weak action and getting an undesired result, we need to stay out of story mode and just be. I'm not saying it's easy, but once we start to get these techniques and reinforcements and realizing that comparison, that expectation, is all just part of the story. We can get back to the real work of melting the ice cube and unlocking truly what we desire. Okay, so that's our Money Monday. We got our founders call later today with the CEO and the president, and those are always fun to watch. I love how dedicated those guys are to the mission, and that we can keep our head focused on what we're doing, knowing that they're doing a great job at HQ. And so show up to that, get fed, make sure we're on the right track for the end of the year. And I am, I feel super grateful and blessed to be a part of this team. And then, you know, the ripple effect that we get to go create out in the world. I'm glad I get to do it with all of you. So thanks for showing up. Another episode of Money Monday. And I will see you later today and tomorrow morning for Takeoff Tuesday. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Bye for now.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everybody.